Hey everybody, welcome to Coach Rivals. This is one of our first streams of the summer, preseason. I am Slipstream, and I'm joined by Kikadaki.
Hey, he got my name right. Hi everybody, I'm Kikidiki. I'm one of the players on Grubba Dub Dub, one of the Legends teams, and I'm here to do the commentating for tonight's match. Okay, so looking at what we've got right now is on the left side, we've got a full auto attacking comp with like a lot of damage. And then on the right side, you've got kind of for Hearts of Diamond, kind of a protection comp for the Varus, where basically Varus is all their damage. So what I see, what I'm kind of predicting here, is Farm and the Furious need to go on the offense and they need to dive deep. Maybe put the Kale ult on top of the Briar to get in there. They have a lot of tools to engage, but Hearts of Diamond really lives up to their name because it's kind of like a diamond strong composition. Yeah, looking at the bans, it's clear that Farm and the Furious wanted to spread that out a little bit. Maybe get the enemy mid laner on something less comfortable because they banned Akali Sylas and then they wound up on the Lux that should be Lux mid. And that is the complete opposite of a champion, less aggressive and more defensive, built for wave clearing and picking out targets. The biggest thing I see is that if that's a R5 Rammus, that last pick Rammus, that is one of the best Rammus picks I've ever seen into Zeri, Senna, Kale, and Briar. That's 4 auto-attacking champions, plus Diana, which does a lot of auto-attacking damage. So really, really interesting styled comps that, whoever can play their comp strength is going to take the game.
All right, and I guess I'm having an audio issue already. Hopefully this doesn't echo it, but does actually start working. Let me know in stream there. Let's head over to players.
Oh, and Merlin, I remember Merlin very well. Oh, we get to see some Master Blaster. This is one player I'm super proud. Oh, I don't know who that is, though. We're never
No
going to
idea.
hear from this Slipstream guy again.
And last but not least, Zucchini's actually a sub for Farm and the Furious. He's coming over from Yellow Team, I believe. No, not Yellow. I'm sorry, from Purple Team, which is Avoided.
One of the things I really love about this league is the fact that we can all come in, and even though these players you're seeing like they're silver, bronze, that this is still fair and really volatile competition. Really exciting stuff.
Here's Team 1, the Farm and the Furious.
Well, we definitely see that some people got their favorite champions. For the Farm and the Furious, Diana first pick, I believe, for you, and you better not spoil anything for me. But then you see several of these people are off-rolling. So your AD carry, they got their Caitlyn and their Samira banned away. Meanwhile, you've got 2 top lane jungle mains? Yeah, we got Shen top lane anyway, and then 2 jungle mains. So I'm interested to see how this team's going to do because not a lot of support experience, not a lot of mid lane. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot. We got the Diana mid lane, not jungle? Question mark. What's going on there? Oh, we'll see how this goes. Then that means because we got the Briar jungle, I'm forgetting the draft in my brain. So yeah, some people got their preferential picks.
Yeah.
Okay, and looking at this, we see that that Master Blaster was denied his Maokai support, which is a really good pick. Loves playing that. Completely denied. And we see that Big Red Hand normally playing stuff like the Tristana and the MF especially that MF got taken off of it in favor of the Varus, which is pretty strong these days. Then Akali Silas banned away from Ancient Relic, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot of their best mid lane champions.
Actually, I think that Akali was a completely random throwaway ban. We were just hoping to see the Grey team bring whatever they felt like. And so,
I see.
Actually, Akali is one of my champs, and we just didn't coordinate our bans at all.
Oh no.
No, it's fine. We were hoping to kind of see the strongest game that Grey team could bring.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to remind everybody at home, this is a scrimmage match. That this won't reflect the standings, but it is a great indicator of how the teams are going to come in on day one.
Yep. And let me get us in game next. Give me just a sec to trigger this.
And let's see how it goes. Well, let's see it go. So who needs the LCS production staff when we have the Coach Rivals production staff? Because honestly, the stuff that they put into this is really amazing. All the graphics, all the camera angles, every ounce of this. And we, like any production, we have to work the kinks out at the beginning. But I'm really excited with all the work that they've been putting in to see how this will show up on on game day, on day one. So we've got the Farm and the Furious just setting up with standard 5-point. On the other side, Chase, Master Blaster, wants to take that Nautilus and form a strong point there in case the squishies decide to step up in that bot lane. And looking at the positions, we see Briar starting red side with a leash. We see Rammus starting on his chickens, his raptors. That's exactly what we expect from this kind of setup. It does disadvantage Rammus a little bit because he doesn't get a leash, but that enables Lux to get in there early and hopefully poke down the Diana before she can get her important abilities. And there we see some auto attacks poking, and that's kind of how we expect these matchups to go at the beginning. The one thing I would point out is down in the bot lane, we've got Nautilus sitting in that middle brush getting lane control. So if Nautilus decides to step up, then we'll have an interesting fight there. In the top lane, Shen is going to dominate this until Kayle hits that level 6 ranged benchmark. So if Kayle can survive that first little bit, then it's going to be a good time for her. Oh, and we've got Chase going in with the hook onto Siren the Seer, but gets away. Diana going in for a little bit of trade with an early level 2. And Shen getting some serious damage down here. I think that might be the kill up in top lane. Siren the Seer running away, but with the epic hook from Master Blaster, and that is enough to take down the Senna. Good job, Merlin, with that Varus arrow. Pierces right through. Oh, top lane, we've got Shen landing a taunt on Deathweaver. But not enough. With Shen pushing in this giant wave, that gives them the opportunity to go back to base. Oh, Diana going in for a little bit of poke, but Big Bad Hand holding the Q for the last minute to lock her down and stop her from continuing the trade. Here we finally got the split screen. We've got a little bit of a lull in the action. What do you have to say about the production of this?
So this is running off 3 different PCs. I don't think that I've completely synced them exactly right. That's why I was running around at the start trying to manually hit some buttons. Yeah, hopefully this is good. I'm gonna zoom out in a little bit.
And how many dozens of people do you have on your production staff?
I have a one, but 3 good computers.
Oh, we've got Diana going in for the kill on Big Bad Hand. Big Bad Hand completely out of mana. At this point, is not going to get any CS from this lane without going to the gray screen. So decides to head back to base. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Master Blaster looking for a hook angle, trying to sneak around those minions. Let's see if he goes in. No, just denying a little bit of farm.
I'm gonna go steer that a little bit.
Kale hitting that level 4 mark and backing off. Can we get a look at the CS scores right now? Production? Could you, I think tab, either tab or X, I forget. Looks like Diana's backing in the mid lane. Oh, never mind. Diana going around for the kill, but doesn't have that second E to hop onto Big Bad Hand. Briar caught out by her arch enemy. Rammus takes a bit of a beating, but is able to walk away. See, they're both pathing down towards that Krug, though. And if you look, red team has the advantage in that position. So it looks like Rammus is camping out, trying to fake Briar into going for it, but Rammus doesn't realize that it is a 2 versus 1, and without the defensive ball curl, it's all over for the Armadillo. Let's see. Nautilus coming in for the alley-oop lockdown on Briar, but Briar is screaming, and the scream sends her straight to the gray screen, actually. Varus coming in to finish off the kill. Diana locks down that first kill for the blue team. And Master Blaster is able to lock down the Diana, but unfortunately Varus can't save him. Good kill for the bot lane of Farm and the Furious. Meanwhile, in the top lane, it's still just a farm fest. I think that we may see a scaling battle here, where Shen, a little bit nervous to walk up, even with them showing, goes in for a little bit of a trade. But with the rage advantage coming in soon from Kale, I think that things are shaping up beautifully here for Deathweaver. Now, if we look at the bottom of the map, we see that Rammus was able to deploy onto the top side of the map, going for those grubs, as he likes to do. Meanwhile, Briar, with the single target damage, is going to knock down the Drake, and with the priority from the blue side bot lane. In mid lane, we see that same familiar pattern of Diana going in for the poke, but Lux is able to, hit confirm her Q every single time that Diana goes in, so ends up being nothing. We see the Zeri Senna going in for a little bit of poke, trying to ward him off, but they are pretty nervous to go in on Merlin right now. We've got Rammus on top side, so with Rammus invading inside the enemy jungle, Briar doesn't seem to know that this is happening, so there's not going to be any chance to steal anything on the other side. And honestly, it's back to a bit of a lull. It's, at this point in the game is entirely on players like Master Blaster and Zucchini to make those big engages. Whoa, can we get a replay on that? We see Big Bad Hand taking out our producer, and I think there might have been a little bit of a bias there, not wanting to show that little solo kill. Oh, you can hit backspace to back it up a little bit. Yeah, no problem. Let's see if we can go back for a little bit of a replay on that one. Big Bad Hand did take down Diana. Oh, and you can see that same hit confirm strategy where Big Bad Hand is like, hey, I know I'm not going to die in the first E, so I'll let it hit me, and then I automatically hit my Q, and then ult, and bye the final spark to send her back to base. Here we've got our split screen action. A little bit of damage on to Slipstream again. Slipstream is going to have a much harder time of controlling the wave, and without roaming, without those potentials to do anything on a side lane, it's going to be tough for them to build an advantage. Meanwhile, we see the mid laners abandoning their lane, splitting up. Slipstream is able to invade a little bit, but it doesn't look like the blue team knows where the red jungler is, where that Rammus is. So Briar is able to steal everything securely. In bot lane, Varus and Nautilus are able to farm pretty easily. It looks like the Farm in the Furious bot lane is a bit afraid of the Nautilus engaging from that bush, not able to walk up and get a ward. So they're just safely farming under turret, which they don't mind at all. They're scaling. They could be poking the Nautilus right now, but you know what? Looking at the rest of their team, I think they're perfectly happy with what they're doing right now. Oh, and in the top lane, it looks like Ancient Relic is caught out, uses the ult to jump out. Oh, dodges the ultimate from Briar, but Diana coming in from Fog, it looks like, landing that 3-man ultimate. It's not enough, though. Big Bad Hand looks like he's going to be chased down. Flashes. Oh, the Q dodged by Deathweaver, and one more auto attack. Boom. That is the full 2 kills for the blue side. Meanwhile, it looks like Zeri went back to base, and Senna's just here to make sure it doesn't crash for free, stacking up those stacks. Could we click Senna right now and see what kind of stack she's sitting at? Ooh, I can't see it down there. What's that? 32 stacks. Ooh, not too good for right now, but hey, it's going to take some time. That's why we have a scaling champion. When Senna hits those high stack counts, that's when she's really going to be doing damage from long range and becoming a threat of her own in this composition. Oh, Big Bad Hand locking down another kill. I think we'll have to get a replay of that in the mid lane. And elsewhere on the map, we see that Briar and Rammus are going toe-to-toe, but hold that still. Master Blaster goes in with the hook. Merlin locks with the Chains of Corruption, which could spread on Sauron the Seeker, but not enough to damage, not enough to kill, only to damage and hold him still. Now, if Merlin had a mana, Sauron the Seer and the Disrespecter would probably want to get out of there, but no mana means they're perfectly fine. Briar, meanwhile, being caught out at the grubbies by her archenemy, that Rammus. Shen able to land the taunt with the Q over top, doing some serious damage. Let's see if they can lock this down. Just one more big hit, but they're not quite fast enough, are they there? Oh, and the shout from Briar, able to keep herself alive. Oh no, but Bob the Tank gets to jump over the top of that, and with the alley-oop from Big Bad Hand, able to do that damage. Slipstream jumped in for the ultimate, but not enough to keep him alive. A little bit of a trade in the jungle, but in the end, it ends up pretty even with those grubbies staying alive. Lane states kind of resetting. Neither team prioritizing dragons very much at this early stage. It's really all about farming and dominance in the lanes. Let's see if we can get this gank from Ancient Relic. There is a ward there. Waits to the bush to get that speed up, so that power ball is going to take a little while. Oh, do we have an Alcove Gamer? Do we have an Alcove Gamer? And Shen lands the taunt with the double taunt combo. Pretty good. The ult from Deathweaver able to keep him alive long enough to walk out. Problem is, it is 2 tanks trying to kill that Kale. Big Bad Hand. Let's see if they can land a Q. Oh, Merlin looks like there was a bit of an engage down there. Was able to knock out the Senna, but Slipstream came in and finished off the Nautilus. We got 2 sides of the map going crazy right now. Shenald onto Ancient Relic. Final Spark over the top to finish off Deathweaver. But do they have enough chase to lock down Briar? Do they have enough damage to deal with the healing that Briar is going to bring to the table? Briar's got her screen to heal up. Zucchini, can you survive? And no, finally the Ignite coming down from Big Bad Hand to knock him out. Meanwhile, on the bottom side of the map, Merlin, still not back from base yet, has the Disrespector pushing in. And Slipstream starting up that dragon. No jungler, but neither team's jungler is really in a position to contest this right now. So that auto attack team that we talked about from the Farm and the Furious is going to be able to clean this up pretty easily. Production, can we get a look at our... Ooh, almost with the final spark lockdown to take the dragon. We got Nautilus ult to knock up Disrespector and Alter flying everywhere, but blue team are the ones that are dying. Prior to dive in, try to clean up something, manages to get the Nautilus out of it. Let's see if she can get Big Bad Hand too. No, the lockdown from the bars, and a triple kill for Merlin, which is not good news for the Farm and the Furious. They came in there, they got the dragon, but the victor who walked away was Varus with that full Kraken Slayer and 5 kills. 450 gold bounty sitting on his head right now. So if we're looking at items, we see that top lane we've got an interesting build. We got Redemption Shen, which this is a serious bit of a cheese build. We've got Shen normally wanted to go Titanic Hydra to be a little dominant in lane to push waves, but this Shen is like, no, my job is to keep Merlin alive. So with the extra help of that Redemption, his shield is going to be massive on his ultimate, plus the Twilight Shroud and the ultimate, and the Redemption. We got Ancient Relic jumping in there, try to get a bit of a gank, but Slipstream sees it coming, walks away. It's hard to gank mid lane these days, but Briar ultimate on top of Merlin. Ooh, Shen ult isn't going to save you from that, my friend. And Merlin gives that massive shutdown over to Briar. I know that everyone has been terrorized by Briar in the in solo queue right now, so I don't think anyone wants to see a shutdown going over to her. In bot lane, we see a bit of a tank fight as the Nautilus and Rammus are going in, but they don't have enough damage. They don't have enough damage, and with defensive ball curl running low, Nautilus getting picked off by the auto attackers. We got Shen piling in over top, but as soon as the Twilight Shroud is down, he's dead. And Farm and the Furious, their comp is working exactly as intended. Ancient Relic going back in to try to be the glue that holds this fight together. Merlin going over, locks down the kill on the Disrespector, and it looks like the Disrespector is living up to his name. Briar jumping in on Merlin, but Zucchini, I'm sorry, you are going to be Ratatouille in a minute. It is all over. Let's see who they get the kill over to. Merlin, seeing at 7 in the blind. Meanwhile, in the top lane with Shen gone and no way to return. Oh, there's the teleport finally, but lost an entire turret. And if you see sitting in the farm, we got to give hats off to Deathweaver. Deathweaver is living up to their name. They're the Angel of Death. They're Kale, and they are coming for that late game. That Shen is going to be able to protect the Merlin later in the game, but from all of that, I don't know. And even through the Twilight Shroud, we've got Kale, which her passive auto attacks, I'm pretty sure, still do a lot of damage late game, even with that Twilight Shroud blocking the on hits. Slipstream going up, getting a little bit of damage on the turret, but this should be totally fine. We've got the quick dodge on that Lux ult, just into the very edge of it, able to dodge out of the way. But we see a 3v2 here. Let's see if Master Blaster cannot lock down that second dredge line. And with everybody's CC abilities gone, it's just up to Slipstream to walk forward and poke a little bit of ha ha ha. Oh no, here's the Briar ultimate onto the Shen, and Shen does not have any armor in his inventory. Oh, but we see the junglers going for the top laners, but neither one is able to really lock it down. Ooh, Slipstream with a killer double ult, but under turret, but not quite enough damage to kill either. We see a lot of damage, a lot of fighting, but not a lot of killing. Meanwhile, Rammus gets jumped on by the Briar, but unfortunately, not enough damage there. Deathweaver burns her ultimate, but with Master Blaster chasing it down, it looks like a bit of supportal combat. Let's see if they can finish this off. One last dredge line to hit, and Deathweaver is out with the heal. Or Chase goes for it. What a play. Oh no, it's so close. You gotta give it to the support in this case. You gotta give it to them, because that's the kind of play that you test your limits with, and sometimes the coin flips heads, sometimes it flips tails, and this time it flipped Gale. Disrespecter able to dodge out of the way of the final spark, and this sets up blue team for a pretty solid hold on Baron. Now we've got Slipstream up in the top lane against the Shen, and Shen is going to be having a hard time. Hasn't itemized into any armor or magic resist, just using that Twilight Shroud and the shield from his Q to survive in these trades. And without the Titanic Hydra, isn't able to do a whole lot of wave clear. But with the double wombo coming down here, let's see, Slipstream not able to finish off one of them with her ultimate, and the kill ultimately goes to that the Redemption Shen, which worked out wonderfully. That without that Redemption, that would have been a kill over to Alex in the trade. A Briar ult going through. I think we'll be calling the FAA about that one, because didn't quite hit any of its targets. Meanwhile, Kale is just stuck here for hours. That's the composition from Hearts of Iron, which I'm trying to remember. Slipstream, can you help me out with their team name? I swear the team names
it's Hearts of Diamonds.
Very long.
And the Farm and the Furious.
Hearts of Diamond. Yeah, Hearts of Diamond just put Kale into the bouncy house for that one. Even with her ultimate, she was CC'd for like 5 straight seconds. So, I mean, we've had a really interesting match this time. Like, the teams have been going toe-to-toe. If you look, the gold is entirely even, and the turrets are pretty even too. It's just one outer remaining for both teams. We see a little bit of fighting happening here. We got Briar hit with the power ball into Chains of Corruption into the kill for Big Bad Hand. Once you step up like that, the Briar has no way of getting out, and this should be the mid turret for the red team. We see Chase walking up and threatening Master Blaster, but the poke from Merlin is pretty serious, sitting on that 3-item Varus, even though he's an on-hit Varus, still doing damage. Meanwhile, Big Bad Hand just casually throwing out a Q and almost sending Sauron the Seeker back to their base. Ooh, Rammus jumping in with the Powerball into ultimate, aiming for Sauron the Seer, ends up hitting Zeri, and Big Bad Hand locks that down. Oh, in the top lane, I'd love to see a little replay of that. We had Shen going toe-to-toe with Slipstream. I'm guessing that Slipstream went under turret, and Shen taunted them under turret.
Yeah,
and that's exactly
it. The turret. I didn't have enough damage though.
Oh yeah, that's the unfortunate bit. But good call on Shen. Shen coming out of base like that, locking that down. Whoa, and Big Bad Hand has the artillery at this point, sitting at 7-1. Briar, on the other hand, jumping in, trying to get something done, but the Varus is just really fed. See, this is Hearts of Diamond's strategy. Their strategy is to stay together and just be one giant meatball with a couple of hand cannons. And we see Briar going in with her ultimate. Can she burst Big Bad Hand off? Maybe, but the damage just isn't there. Not able to lift through her screen, and the Briar is unsuccessful that time, but a nice kill going over to Big Bad Hand one more time. Meanwhile, on the bot side of the map, I've been kind of silent about this, but Deathweaver has been amassing a lot of gold. Could you swap over the to the gold differences between the champions?
How do I do that?
I think X.
Oh.
Yeah, nice. There we go. So if we're looking over here, we see a 1k difference between the top laners, and that's kind of the strategy here. That Deathweaver said, hey, I'm going to carry the game by myself, and Shed said, hey, I'm going to make sure my Varus carries the game. And if you look at how those strategies are going, we got a 1K lead in the top lane, not bad for the Kayle. But in the bot lane, we've got a 3K lead. But that's not going to be anything if Merlin gets caught out by Slipstream, firing out a Fog of War and knocking them down, leading to what's going to be an extremely quick Baron from the side of the Farm and the Furious. We see these 3 tanks coming in. They don't have the damage to lock them down. And as you can see, Deathweaver is able to do a heck of a lot of damage here to the Shen, who has no armor and magic resist. And let's see, the only hope here is that Rammus is able to ult over and get the steal. No, it goes over to Briar. Good job, Farm and the Furious, locking that down. And the tank meatball comp without their carry is just not able to do enough. Briar landing a bit of a blind ult and gets a massive shutdown onto Big Bad Hand. These are the picks that Farm and the Furious need to win this match. Without these picks, they would have been slowly knocked down.
Wrong one. I was trying to dump the buffer. I hit the wrong button.
Hey, and I just want to remind anyone who's watching this, this is our first stream. The whole point of streaming these scrimmages is that our wonderful, you know, expansive one-person broadcasting team can work out some of the kinks. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. This is bad. Just a second.
Not the thing you want to hear from production, but don't worry. We got it back. We're here. We're here.
There was a scene inside a scene.
Oh, no. Okay, we see Ancient Relic jumping in to try to get that steal, but the dragon isn't low enough. Shen ult over the top. We've got this 3-man meatball squad going in on the Briar, and Briar isn't able to do a whole lot of damage. Not enough damage, and if you can't damage, you can't lifesteal, and drops down. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got Senna going down, Big Bad Hand locking down Slipstream, and the 1x1 conga line straight into that giant meatball comp means that the Hearts of Diamond are able to bring it back. Dreamweaver doing some damage in the mid lane. Looks like he's going to get knocked down by the Shen, and Disrespector doing their job. Disrespector coming over, stopping the backs, and was that enough to get that middle Nexus turret? That lower Nexus turret? I think, oh, can you go back to the red Nexus?
Yeah.
Oh, just, wow, Dreamweaver got a lot after this fight. Got 2 turrets, 2 whole turrets. Oh, yeah, and if you see, we've got this blue minion wave pushing at the bottom with supers, and that blue minion wave, there's no one to stop it, and so just goes in there and knocks down a Nexus turret as well, I believe. Shen here, not able to land the taunt, not able to get close. That's the problem with Shen right there, is that if you don't get close enough, you don't have any ranged ability, other than your ultimate, which has infinite range. Kind of makes up for that. Yeah, so that's the kind of cutting commentary that you can expect in. Don't worry, I think Slipstream can say that we've got the top tier casting staff for the rest of our games this year.
Oh no, we do. We're doing great. Keep it up.
Okay, a bit of a reset from both teams on the field. And now if we look at the gold lead, it's a solid 4K gold lead or 3K gold lead for Hearts of Diamond. Or for the Farm and the Furious, excuse me. Farm and the Furious, they're really just pointing out their name tags at this point. They're saying, hey, you know, FF. That's all you got to do. Oh, and the Briar ult lands just the bit of it onto the Shen. And I'm sorry, Bob the Tank, but it's all over. Sauron the Seer for the style points, fires ultimate over, and secures it. That means it is a 4v5 for now. Let's see if they can press this advantage. Right now, they were going in for some vision, but it doesn't look like the Farm and the Furious have a solid idea of what they would like to do now, because we see Master Blaster going in, trying to secure something. Briar misses the screen, but Big Bad Ham misses the ultimate, and Master Blaster able to walk away. Merlin walking in super close, and Zucchini is just ripping through them. See, that's the thing. Zucchini just gets unrestricted access to the enemy backline, and Merlin completely melts. The Magician is supposed to be the one doing the disappearing, but no, Zucchini decides you are the one being disappeared today. And with that, I think we're attacking all 3 inhibitors right now. Big Bad Hand might be able to land a bit of damage. Knocks Sauron the Seer down, but that's not much for the Senna to heal back up. Now we're down to Shen and Lux defending the turret. Can Shen and Lux block all these super minions, or is it the end? Who does the taunt onto Zucchini, but Zucchini jumps into the backline as soon as it's over and is just healing. The Nexus turret goes down and teleport in from Alex Slipstream. Final spark going off across the top. Oh, and that's the ultimate from the Kale, and Kale doing the damage, but you're attacking the Rammus, and the Rammus cannot really be damaged at this point in the game. So tanky. And Farm and the Furious, they go in there, they get the Nexus turret, they hand over a bunch of shutdown gold, but it feels like this is one step away from the Farm and the Furious taking this one. And I haven't heard any spoilers yet, but I don't think it's over yet. I think these last couple of matches, we've seen Merlin and we've seen Big Bad Hand get caught out by Briar ultimates, and their teammates just not able to keep the Briar off of them. And we need to see in these fights if the Rammus and the Shen and the Nautilus are able to do their jobs and keep Briar off. And conversely, we need to see if Briar is able to find an interesting, unique angle, like a missile right down the middle of the entire map, to get onto Merlin. That's the kind of thing that if Merlin had been 5 Teemos to the right, that would have been kill onto him.
I love that you just used 5 Teemos.
Yeah, 5 Teemos.
Yeah.
That's what we measured, baby. Okay, now we're really balling up for the death ball. Alex in the top lane. We got Slipstream, who's off to the side, and Shen also off to the side. But they're trying to going into this pincer around them, where Zucchini was trying to use the pressure from the bot side of the map to draw them forward. Let's see if Slipstream gets caught out here. It looks like they know that they need to be leaving, and they get out of there. With Baron up, with Dragon coming up, Farm and the Furious. Ooh, and there's the teleport out from Slipstream. I feel like Slipstream didn't expect the Rammus to stop for the front. Oh, but Slipstream teleporting into the enemy base. Oh my goodness, for a massive ultimate with Deathweaver popping that over the top. And that should be it with all the damage pouring in. But, oh, this is a massive turnaround in the fight. Is Zeri able to withstand the damage from 3 champions? No. But Briar has got hitting those tanks. No real damage to knock her down. Senna over the top healing, and the Farm and the Furious just, they can ignore the Rammus. Sauron the Seer is almost dying to the Rammus's Thornmail, but that is it. We've got Briar and Senna hitting the Nexus. Farm and the Furious saying, our name used to be FF, it is now GG. Have a good day.
All right.
Oh my goodness, what a massive ultimate with Deathweaver popping that over the top. Oh, and it just so happened to be your with all the damage pouring in. Almost 5. They got Briar over the top. Yeah, we missed a little bit of it. But Zeri, even though Zeri is the high damage champion, just not able to withstand Nautilus plus Shen plus Rammus on top of them. But once Varus is out of the picture, like we said, Hearts of Diamond don't have the damage to knock down a Briar. Briar is that drain tank, so even if Briar isn't building armor and magic resist, they still can't be killed by these tanks. So I think it came down to one team executing their comp really, really well, and the other team just making the tiniest of mistakes, because that's all it takes when you've got a fragile carry like that.
So now that you guys have seen it, I can tell you about it. I thought we were behind the whole game. I was looking at the kills and not the gold. And I knew we were putting good map pressure down. But I was always like, oh, this is a tough game right up until the end.
I think it really came down to like you were having a rough time in mid lane because you're a ranged champion or you're up against a ranged champion. That Big Bad Hand knew absolutely when to Q you and was doing it right every single time. And Diana is one of those binary champions where you're either in or you're out. And at that point, once you're in and she Qs you, you're in and you're not getting anywhere. So that's rough, but if you look at the rest of the map, you got your top lane, Kayle scaling, you got her scaling, and then bot lane, Zeri, Senna, once they are set up, they do a lot of damage and they're hard to catch. I think it really came down to, I would give player of the game that game to Zucchini, because Zucchini landed a couple Briar ultimates on some really flashy Briar ultimates on some caught out champions and won them the game, I think.
I would agree. I think some of those dives were amazing. And looking at the replay, you can see how much pressure he's absorbing in team fights and just healing right back up. Whereas the team strategy was to bring pressure away from Kayle and let Deathweaver just farm up to max damage. And that seemed to work out okay.
I think throughout the game, I would probably shout out, I think Big Bad Hand had a really good grasp on their lane. And I actually would shout out Master Blaster, because there are several moments where they were like locking down champions, especially in the early game. That Nautilus, Zeri Senna should be tearing Nautilus apart, but Nautilus was constantly threatening, was saying, hey, I got Merlin on my team. I know if I hold you still, he'll punch. So yeah, I think
a huge damage
that
from
was
the pairs. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you, Kika the Key, for casting. Appreciate it.